On this Sunday. This is American ISIS. This is Big Les. This is part 2 and 3 of the Black Dollar. And I'm going to start it off with my income. My income this year in 2017, $8,064 a year. This is because state requirements now, because of what Governor Deal in the state of Georgia had signed on and promoted. Full-time employment is now 28 hours a week. And you know that the companies took advantage of that. So I went from 40 hours a week to 28 hours a week. That brought my income slightly down $2,400 a year. Yeah. How can you make it on that? You can't. Most places who rent apartments. First of all, Georgia is very cheap on renting and property. Well, they were. They're starting to balloon up. $425 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment is super dirt cheap compared to the places where I used to live in Virginia, Maryland, DC. Ridiculous. Just $425 is chicken feed, but there's a clause. The clause is you must make 3 times the amount of rent in order to qualify. So you end up living in extended stay hotels or a room in a rooming house for $500 a month. So the income was $716 a month. $500 for the room, $100 for the bus. And that leaves you some pocket change to stretch for food and toiletries, which comes out to about $15 a week. And if you have a medical emergency or you're a diabetic like myself, without Medicaid, or you're gonna be forced to work a second job in order to pay for your medical supplies. And that's if you can get a second job. And that's if you are physically able to work a second job. It is devastating. I've been out of work now for a month and 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm in the same predicament that 80% of America is in right now. It's devastating. So how am I going to generate some cash and benefit? Because I was already living on thin ice. That goes back to the churches. That goes back to the strongest and most richest land and lucrative business in the neighborhood. It's the black church. Now, there are churches here in Georgia that help pay for my medical supplies while I'm down and out. Rent vouchers too. But they all just so happen to be white. Predominantly white churches. Protestants. Catholics. There's not one black church outside of a bread drive, which the bread was donated from surrounding bakeries, name brand bakeries, the same people who donate food to food pantries. they gave out. The church didn't spend not $1. The black churches here didn't spend not $1, not one red cent. They just put it on the table and opened up the doors for a limited time from like 9 a.m. to 11, during a weekday. But they didn't give out anything on the services. Okay, enough of that. All I can tell you is you have 3 months left, and in those 3 months coming up is Christmas and Thanksgiving. You need to skip the holidays this year. You really do. You really need to skip the holidays. Don't go all out. Put that money in. I mean, if you can buy a couple of Cornish hens, or some chicken, some leg quarters, and cook that for Thanksgiving. It's cheap. A bag of potatoes, some potatoes and 2 greens and a protein. That's cheap. That's what you need to do, and pocket that money. Christmas, I have over 56 nephews and nieces. Christmas is at the Dollar Tree for them, and it's always been at the Dollar Tree. It's a $1 gift. That's straight up. Older people, they don't get Christmas. To me, it's a worthless holiday anyway. And by that time, you'll have enough money to put with your income tax returns for 2018, because the Trump cabinet, the Trump administration, and the Republicans, they're gonna bite your ass to make up for that $20 billion that they asked for in taxpayer money to bail out Florida and Texas. And if you think that the poor people in Florida and Texas is going to get that relief, you're out of your freaking mind. Do you see the news report? The news report covers who? South Beach. I performed in South Beach. It's very rich property. They're going to be all right. I tell you, the people who's going to get hit the most, the insurance companies. The insurance companies that put out policies on flood damage, the payout is going to be, and the premiums is going to be through the roof for those people. Wow. So this trickles down to us. The trickle down theory on the money, Reaganomics, no, that didn't work. But the debt, that works. The debt that trickles down to us will work, because we're the taxpayers. We supply the $20 billion for FEMA to bail out these rich bastards that got property, beachfront property. Come on. Somebody at Arby's or work at McDonald's or Pizza Hut doesn't have the money to have beachfront property. Why bail them out? The media won't show the hood. Show the hood that was underwater before the water. Come on. So I'm asking you this. Keep your tithes from the church. Go cheap on Thanksgiving. Skip Christmas for older people and kids at the dollar store. And add that to your income tax return, because you're going to have to subsidize the loss of them ripping you off. It's at 18% for individuals right now, and every child you can deduct a 2% on your income tax returns. But with Trump administration, they're going to up the ante from 18% taxes to 22% taxes. That's what George Bush did for us taxpayers to support the war in Iraq. And we all know that was a big giant scam, because there was no weapons of mass destruction. They went in and they spent billions of dollars on a monthly basis in order to secure the oil revenue for the major oil corporations. And one of those oil corporations was BP. And people don't understand that BP stands for British Petroleum. That means that is a UK company. All right, this is part 2 of the black dollar. A recap right quick. Skip out on Christmas. Go cheap on Thanksgiving because you're going to need it for the 2018 income tax returns. Obama is no longer there. There is no 18%. There is no 2% deduction for every child in a household. There is no earned income credit of $1,500 per child anymore. And there is no workers' income credit. That was all Obama. That was all the Obama administration. And you see, you would have had a 4-year extension if you would have voted for Hillary to get into office, but you didn't. You voted this redneck loser into office, and now he's going to take a razor blade to your back pocket and take your wallet. All right, American ISIS, this is Big Leds. This is part 2 of the black dollar. I'm out. About to do part 3 in about a couple of minutes.